Yes! What is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Kick Out Podcast. My name is Ace.
My name is Skillet.
I'm Flu.
And my name is Mex.
That's right. Tay's not here today, but we are back. We had to do an episode. Well, we've been doing these. We've been quite consistent recently. This is good, isn't it? We're on a real run here. But we definitely had to come together today to give you an episode after what I think a great Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it was. It was great. It was great-ish. It felt for the first time in a long time. It had some sort of atmosphere. It felt exciting they made you excited to wait for the main event. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what wrestling used to do on a regular basis. That's what Monday Night Raw used to do on a regular basis. The WCW Nitro used to do on a regular basis. And I haven't had that feeling in a little while. And, you know, it's not like the guy who won the title it's someone that I'm a massive fan of. I'm not a massive fan of the guy that won the title. But for some reason, I actually wanted him to win it. I wanted someone new. I wanted something different. And also, the reasons I will give later on the reason why I wanted to win it is something I'm looking forward to seeing down the line. I'm hoping will come from this. But it was quite exciting to watch. What did you guys think? Flu? Max?
I'm similar to you, Skills. I think it was nice to see something a bit different. It was nice for them to definitely have some kind of idea for what they were doing with the show. I made a promise to myself. I said, if I get to the end of the episode and Lashley hasn't won the title, then I am out. Do you know what I mean? Because if they had, bait and switch, and then the third bait and switch, I'd already said to myself, I'm done. But they couldn't do that. And to be fair, like Skillet, am I the biggest Lashley fan in the world? No, but it's different and it had an idea. So to be fair, it gets a tick from me.
Can I ask a question though to both of you? Although we probably all here are not the biggest Lashley fans, although we appreciate what's going on at the moment. Are you more of a Lashley fan now? Are you more of a Lashley fan now because of this than you were maybe 6 weeks ago?
That's a good question. I'm not.
Because if you are, then this is working.
No, I think it's
really
working. I think it's working. I think it's working regardless. The fact that I was looking forward to seeing Lashley win the title means it's working. I don't know if this made me a bigger Lashley fan. I think it's the right thing they've done. I think it made me. I'm a fan of the Hurt Business. I'll say that much. I'm a fan of the faction. I think this faction has been booked very strong. Shelton and Cedric look incredible together. MVP is doing great work. So I think I'm a fan of the faction. I think Lashley is due a title because if you're looking at all the titles that we've had in WWE, he definitely should be in that kind of ilk. So it's just good. It's good. It's a good thing they're doing, and they're doing the right thing, and that's what it is.
It's the first time he's had a moment. So,
yes.
Late night you go, I'm going to watch that moment. I'm going to watch that moment. It's the first time I'll go, I might watch that Lashley moment because they, having his peers at ringside for the Lumberjacks gave it a little bit of an atmosphere. When he picked up Miz, dropped him. I think you saw Riddle in the background doing some proper kind of, and so it gave it.
We'll have to address that later, but keep going.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Storyline wise, doesn't make any sense. He beat him up 2 weeks ago. I don't care about wrestling. Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous now. But it just it was nice to actually have a moment. It deserved the crowd, didn't it?
Yes, yeah, I agree. It did deserve a crowd.
It did deserve a crowd.
Can I go before Mix? Because I know Mix more or less called this whole thing, and I know that he's loving Lashley as the champion. I will say this. I think like you lot said, I've never been the biggest Lashley fan. I've appreciated his work. I think he looks great. He's never done any. He's had a few horrible moments in WWE. Even I was watching something, watching some throwback stuff about when they tried to bring his sisters into it. Oh my god, that was horrible, wasn't it?
And
but anyway,
some bending over, kiss my ass kind of stuff as
horrible.
well.
Absolutely,
it was more the smiley face he had at the end of the scene. Do you remember at the end of the program?
It was scary. It was so scary.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that. It's interesting that you mentioned that, Ace, because you know, Lashley was out of WWE for a long time. He was in Impact for a while. He was in MMA for a little while. And I remember him vividly saying to a lot of media outlets when he signed the contract to come back to WWE that one of the main reasons why he wanted to come back was they promised him a match with Brock Lesnar. Not even the title, just a match with Brock Lesnar. That was one of his main hooks in coming back. And then he comes back and then he gets the sister angle. He gets the Lana storyline. He gets
God, I forgot about that.
He gets put with Leo Rush. They booked him terribly. So I'm gonna say this now. Shout out to MVP, because if it wasn't for MVP, 100%. We would not see this moment. But yeah, sorry, continue what you're saying.
Anyway, what I was gonna say is this has been the first time in this entire time that I've been watching Lashley that I've looked at him. I've said, yeah. You are the champ. You are the man. And I've always said, yeah, you're great, you're good, you're like good at what you do. But I've never looked at him and thought, yeah, you're the guy. And now I'm looking and I'm like, yes, this is the man. So it's working. It's 100% working. I think MVP is definitely the key to it as well.
Absolutely. Max, go ahead, man. You go celebrate, Max. Celebrate.
Bro, I was too gassed. I've been invested since the minute MVP got stuck with him last year. And because I know the kind of stuff they did together on TNA. So yeah, I was looking forward to them kind of replicating that. And this is someone that looks like a monster. So it's only a matter of time before they pull the trigger on him. I think the good thing about it is that they've actually pulled the trigger. They have actually struck whilst the iron is hot, because, you know, WWE, they see these opportunities come and it's like, it's someone else's time right now, or we have this plan for someone else. And they don't kind of let the natural happen. Like how it was happening with Daniel Bryan back in 2015. You know, they have their own plan of Roman Reigns, and we have to get Roman Reigns to the dance when no one else cares, sort of thing. So yeah, this hasn't been like, you know, it looks like it's been on the face of it 2 weeks of, you know, Miz gets Hurt Business's help, cashes in. Now Bobby Lashley wants his turn, and 2 weeks later, Bobby Lashley's champion. This has been coming, and especially like back end of last year, they turned it all the way up with Bobby Lashley. He was just behaving like a monster. I think I said then, like early January, this is either going to lead to him winning this championship or facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I couldn't see any other way because of the way they were just booking him. So yeah, same with you guys. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Lashley person ever, but it's like everyone can acknowledge when something has worked well and something new as well. I think the thing that everyone kind of enjoyed about Raw last night was the fact that there was like a through line. And obviously for yourself, someone like Skillet, like you write stories and stuff. So you probably acknowledge the fact that, like very much in the Attitude Era, something would start at the beginning of the show and it would be a constant kind of drawback to this thing throughout the entire show until it kind of escalates right in the main event or the main event segment. And that's what we had last night. I mean, we'll talk about Raw. I think everything else around the other matches and stuff, a lot of it was just trash and filler and nonsense, but it was saved by this well-booked angle. And I think we got to give the Miz praise as well. Like,
absolutely.
I have to say this.
He's been brilliant.
There was one because I'll be honest, I missed a lot of Raw. It was so weird. I woke up every time Lashley was about to fight the Miz. So I woke up for all three segments. No word of a lie. Like, it was nuts. So like, but the promo
you must have been freaking out then.
What's going on? I was so confused. So you know, like MVP came out. I was like, "Oh, you've got in an hour at 9 o'clock. We're gonna have this match." So I conked out. I woke up. Then, you know what? I didn't even get to see that match. I went back, conked out, went back to sleep, and then I woke up for the last bit. It was mad. But I saw the Riddle match, and then I saw this promo with Miz in the office with Shane talking about. He was going in. I was like, this guy, you know what? We might need him on the belt on him again soon. You know what I'm saying? Because he was talking about, I'm the champion. I need respect. I do whatever it takes to keep the title. And he was just like, not fluffing his lines. He's so good. He is so good.
There's honestly two victims here. Drew McIntyre, the victim of timing, because I know they might have had their whole plan for Drew to win this title back at WrestleMania. But right now, that doesn't feel like it's the right thing to do. And Miz, because yeah, like you said, she's although we don't see him as a champion, he has champion qualities. He definitely knows how to sell himself and look the part as champion. I think if this wasn't WrestleMania season per se, and maybe, you know, later on in the year after Money in the Bank and stuff like that, I think Miz might actually have like a bit of a stretch as champion. But yeah, Miz and Drew McIntyre have unfortunately been casualties to this Lashley train sort of thing. So
saying that, then, would you book Drew to face Lesnar? No, sorry, to face Lashley at Mania, or give him a whole different opponent? Lashley, I mean.
That's the match.
So this is a question. First of all, question from Chris Mentalist, my brother Chris Mentalist. He said, "Is Lashley a transitional champion?" And then we have another question from Anafi from Rest Things. Big up Anafi and Rest Things family. He says, "As Lashley won the title last night, how would you book his title defense going forward at WrestleMania?" So it's the same question H just asked as well. I will say it has to be Lashley Drew, WrestleMania, Lashley retain, Lashley Brock SummerSlam.
I would go the other way.
You think Brock straight away?
Yeah. I think Drew will win it back at SummerSlam. But I feel like we will have this. Like you just said, they promised him a match with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar might just come back and do it and go. You know what I mean?
But you think Lesnar's not going to come for 20,000 people on WrestleMania?
He will. They probably will.
Why not? He did it in front of in the performance center with no one.
Yeah,
he was already paid by then.
So I reckon Brock could come back for Mania, and I feel like he won't be Drew.
And Lashley win.
Yeah, not like maybe not clean, maybe some kind of shenanigans or like I don't know, but I actually don't feel like the money is Drew Lashley now.
You know what?
No, obviously, if you're looking at WrestleMania, it has to be Lashley Brock. If you're looking at the money, obviously that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But I just feel like because we're coming, like we're only 5-6 weeks away from Mania.
I've booked it again. Are you ready?
All right, so he's gonna show up. He's gonna show up on Raw. Well, I kind of said that.
No, I've booked it. Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? Okay. So Lashley versus so who do we just say?
McIntyre, Lesnar.
No, Lashley versus Lesnar. Yeah, Lesnar comes back. We're gonna get this Lashley Lesnar match. Finally, get it. Yeah,
proper WrestleMania match.
Proper big WrestleMania match. Yeah. Then there's some kind of shenanigans in the backstage area between a conversation between Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. He's like, "Yo, you're back. Like, what's going on?" And he's like, "No, I'm with this guy now." You know what I'm saying? And then there's some tension between Lesnar and Roman because you stolen my guy. Like, what's going on? Roman gets involved in the match. He causes Lesnar to lose, and then we have Lesnar Reigns going forward out of Mania into SummerSlam. Pay me. That is where the money is.
Ace, you realise you've just booked the man. Because Reigns versus Lesnar worked so well the first time in the second
No, but this time it is Paul Heyman on a pole match, innit? So you get whoever wins gets Heyman.
I don't think they would have an interruption or a distraction in a WrestleMania match for the title.
What?
I don't think that.
Have you watched WrestleMania?
Yeah, but I think those are times of old.
Stone Cold turned heel for no reason.
No,
it can happen.
You're obviously forgetting about the classic John Cena versus The Miz as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. I think I see Brock Lesnar more as like the final boss. So Bobby Lashley goes on this reign from now until SummerSlam, and then it's like Brock Lesnar is like the final guy that he has to kind of overcome before they start talking about maybe Lashley dropping it to whomsoever.
The problem is, I think everyone's right, because let's face it, if you said WrestleMania this year, Edge Reigns, Lashley, Lesnar, you'd go, you know what? That's not a bad couple of things, male-wise, to have at the top. But the other truth is, you can't have Lesnar, Lashley at the moment because it would be a waste. So if you're going to have a kind of not throwaway match, but is Lashley? I'm not excited by Lashley Drew at all.
No, man. I don't really want Drew to lose. but I don't want Lashley to lose. So I'd rather just not happen.
You rather they just avoid each other.
Yeah, just for now. If Drew loses, he goes to the bottom of the short. Like, what can he do? Like,
slightly,
if
you're
Drew
right.
loses, that's it.
Yeah, slightly. It's true.
How does he cut? Do you know what I mean? Unless I don't know.
You know what they should have done? We'll talk about Raw in a sec, but they should have had Drew Sheamus at WrestleMania, even as an opener, because for me,
that match on Raw
at WrestleMania could have stolen the show. Outstanding.
They had a great match on Raw. I don't know why they didn't save that for WrestleMania. I don't know why they didn't.
I think they did. Don't you feel like Sheamus and Drew had that in their back pocket? You know, they've been discussing ideas. That, we'll do this, we'll do that, and it was. Sorry to jump the gun and talk about Raw, but I thought it was. I thought there was the best moment of Raw. I thought the match was outstanding. I thought the finish was outstanding, and it's always. I always find it good when mates or when there's a relationship between the two, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, stuff like that. When there's a connection between the two, the match is always better. Wouldn't you? In fact, give us some guys, to put you on the spot, give us some of those classics when they're mates or they know each other quite well, so the match is always pretty good.
Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, 100%. That's one of the best wrestling I've ever seen. Obviously, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit. They had some great matches.
In fact, you could say the whole SmackDown 6, couldn't you? Because they were so used to taking each other on the 6.
Yeah. Ray, Eddie Guerrero, Ray and Eddie. So many friendships and wrestling.
I've been keeping in recent times the stuff that Roman and Jey Uso done.
Yeah.
That was
the chemistry and stuff, the story that they told.
But that finish, not to say that it deserved a crowd so much, because that finish when he was just going for the bro kick, but the Claymore kick hit him just before, it was perfect. There's not often these days I go, especially with no crowd, that it gets me. That actually got me like, what a great match. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Should we talk about Raw then?
Let's do it.
Talk about Raw.
We didn't do any outside the ring.
Okay, well, no, I had. Oh, we could do. I definitely got a subject outside the ring we can start with.
Should we start or should we do Raw now first, then we do it after?
Nah, you said it now, Ace. Let's do outside the ring.
Well, to be fair, guys, we've talked about the opener and the main event, so now we have to talk about Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman. What
WrestleMania match? I told you guys, it's happening.
I missed this. What happened? What's how did it?
Have you ever seen a storyline just shoehorned in? Shane McMahon comes out and just starts slagging off Braun for no reason. You're a big idiot. Oh, I'm just joking. Again, Shane's promos are so awkward and weird. And I try to imagine, can you imagine Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon these days having a conversation? It's going to be absolutely nonsensical. They both just go, Anyway, move on. Someone else talk. Jesus.
So, yeah, Shane and Strowman, that's definitely going to be a WrestleMania card. Ali had a match with Riddle for the United States Championship. Ali did a very dangerous finish. Did you notice the finish?
I mean, it was definitely a bot.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't know if it was.
You know what? I thought it looked good.
It looked good.
There was no like basically Matt Riddle just took a flat back bump from the top rope. And then Ali was doing some type of rotation without even touching Riddle. So
I liked it.
I feel like brilliant.
I feel like the commentators made it look like a bump because they were just like, they crashed to the ground. They didn't really call it a move or nothing. But I thought it looked good. I don't know.
Well, we'll know if he ever hits that move ever again.
Yeah.
We'll see. We will see. It wasn't a match. It wasn't for the title, by the way. And
Ali won, and then that might lead to a title defense at Fastlane, and where Riddle will win, obviously, between the two. Shane McMahon was throwing some The Miz was throwing some theatrics backstage, pretending he had a cramp. Just trying to do anything to get out of the match. The match was booked for a later time. The match happened. He ran out the ring, got counted out. Shane said, "No, we're gonna have you come back out and face Lashley." A lumberjack match commenced, where people in the lumberjack seem to be rooting for Lashley, even the ones that Lashley beat the shit out of, like Riddle and Retribution, and it's just the book. Like, I see Riddle jamming with Cedric Alexander.
That's what got me.
Inside, it's like, hey man, this is cool, right? Bro, I didn't even notice that Lashley was such a badass. It's like
at any point, did you not think Retribution were going to cost her business the match?
I thought if anyone, it was going to be Braun Strowman, because obviously he had the match with Bobby Lashley last week, and even that doesn't make sense because Shane McMahon, like Flu said, basically called Braun Strowman an idiot earlier on in the night, and then Shane McMahon saying, "Oh yeah, need the lumberjacks out," and Braun Strowman comes out. Like, wouldn't you be disobeying?
Yeah,
then
100%.
we have Retribution on the other hand, the rebels of WWE. But no, we're coming to be lumberjacks as we're told. You know, it's like,
yeah, no, it don't make sense.
So we got
wherever you guys worked, can you just imagine like a group of people coming in and being absolute assholes and setting fire to the place and having chainsaws, and then your boss just going, "Could someone just help me with these tables?" And then and just lifting the tables with it. "Oh, you were setting fire to the venue last week, but now you're just helping us with these tables. Thank you, Retribution." It's bizarre.
Yeah, Retribution joining in is very not anti-establishment, anti-industry at all. It's very strange. Question from Lola Frills, Jason Allen, who's an avid Kick-Out podcast listener. He asked us the question: what is next for The Miz?
It's a really good question.
Very good question.
Damian Priest,
Very good question.
Morrison.
If he be Bad Bunny, Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison.
100%.
Didn't Damian Priest have a match with someone and he nearly got beat the hell out of him?
Elias. They're booking him so bad, bro.
Oh man. Yeah, there's Elias versus Damian. Priest won though, right?
He won, but I don't understand why he's struggling to beat people that can't even get on TV. Like he's sold the hell out of Elias's whole moveset and then beats Elias. He done the exact same thing for Angel Garza last week. I like Garza, but same way. It's like, this isn't how you get someone over strong per se. Like, he's struggling against guys he shouldn't be struggling against.
What do you guys think about dropped storylines?
What storyline are you thinking?
Like Buddy Murphy and Aaliyah.
That Lacey Evans. Just dropped storyline. Like, is that something? I can't stand it. I don't like. They had like, and I don't know. I didn't see it. I saw a little bit of Charlotte's promo, but did she even address it at all? No.
Charlotte walked into the ring and basically said, Bianca has chosen Sasha for the women's championship. Who has our champion chosen? Or what's our champion doing at WrestleMania? Nothing. So I am saying now that I want to face Asuka for the women's championship.
You know what, though?
We all knew was coming. So
of course,
when Shayna kicked Asuka's tooth out of her mouth.
Yeah, that is real.
That was horrible.
She lost 2 teeth, so she's really out. Like,
I feel sorry for her, man. That's really bad.
But Shayna did on the show. If you watch the whole footage of the match, Shayna did literally, after she done that kick, she went straight to Asuka's head, like, "Are you alright?" sort of thing. Like, she must have seen it fly out. But yeah,
deep. Anyway, I'm sad that this storyline's been dropped though.
What, the Lacey Evans Ric Flair storyline?
Yeah, man. I kind of. I mean, like, you've already started. I didn't like it at the beginning, but you started it now. So
but they ended it. You know what? It was ended well last week when her and Ric Flair had that really deep promo. That was actually
like it was starting. That felt like the beginning of what we were about to get, rather than the ending.
I felt Ric Flair was contemplating his actions when she said, "I'm not here. I'm here to improve our legacy, Dad, not to ruin it." And then she walks away, and Ric Flair's like, "Oh, that's what you've been doing all this time." So
it's a double-sided coin, though, because that could be seen as something that's going to spin off between those two. But at the same time, if you don't have that, Lacey Evans has just said she's pregnant. They could literally just both walk off, and then that's it. The storyline's gone. That it could have ended that way. But with that Ric Flair promo, might have given it like an extra step where it maybe didn't need it necessarily.
Question from our guest last week, Big Wavy Roy Johnson. He says, if you were to get married, what would be your cake, starter, and main? Then he says, which wrestling theme would you walk down the aisle to? So let's go with Flu first. If you were to get married, what would be your cake, the starter, and the main? And what wrestling theme would you come out to?
Well, obviously, my instant answer is always Brood. It's always Brood to rise through the flames.
Will you and the missus be rising through the flames together, or you and some groomsmen or whatever?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it that long. Let me think more about the cake. I'd have some kind of lovely beef Wellington, as the match. I'm trying to think of funny wrestling answers, but I've got nothing.
Mac,
at all.
let's go to next.
What would my theme tune be? I guess my go-to answer would always be DX.
Break it down.
Because I love that theme tune. But,
what am I thinking? Sorry, Mac. What about the remember our love is here forever?
The classic wedding song they always do. Yeah, classic.
And they always get someone who can't quite sing to sing it live.
They did that was on Test and Stephanie's wedding.
Yeah.
Forever. And they've done it a few times. I think they even did it as a joke with Teddy Long and Bobby Lashley's wife's wedding.
Would you agree, that's the best when the one
Teddy Long and Bobby Lashley's wife got married?
They had a wedding and then Jagged Edge came out and performed. Do you remember that on SmackDown?
I remember that. What, that was Bobby Lashley's wife?
Yeah, that's Bobby Lashley's
his real wife.
His real wife?
Yeah, it's his real wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. I don't know anything. I'm just a piece of shit.
That's copyrighted. My catchphrase is copyrighted.
I'll probably, I'd have NWO.
Down.
Yeah, I feel like that is walk down the aisle. That's walk down the aisle.
Black and white lights everywhere.
Yeah, that's it, man.
For life.
For life.
That's the best.
Too sweet and everybody has a walk down. Yeah, I'm on it. That's me.
That's the one.
I think the theme song I would have is Billy and Chuck. You look so good to me.
If you have the NWO though, aren't you worried that you'd have like 2 or 3 groomsmen and it would be really good? But then you'd add another groomsman, and then you'd add another groomsman, and in the end, you'd have too many groomsmen, and it would water down your wedding.
Way too many groomsmen.
And then they'll split off, and then one groomsman he'll propose to another woman in the wedding, and then all of a sudden you got Wolfpack in there.
We should do an NWO episode where we really just break down how great and shit it was at the same time.
I think that's a great idea. We should start doing themed episodes, and yes, an NWO one will be on the cards. For the cake, I'll have a flapjack. All right.
Which is definitely not a cake.
I ain't coming to your wedding, bro. I ain't know. What Skillet's wedding, man? Gave me a flapjack,
Yeah, isn't flapjack a member of
Retribution?
Retribution?
The back of your teeth.
That's the reason why I said it. It's a member of Retribution, flapjack.
Okay, there you go.
And also, Stevie Ray used to do the flapjack back in WCW days. All right. More stuff to discuss. Speaking of Charlotte Flair, Nathan Stokes at Nathan Stokes 08 tweeted at us: will the fans accept another title match for Charlotte at Mania again?
They won't have a choice, will they?
Let's start with Mex.
I think, honestly, right now, I don't want to see them force someone like Rhea Ripley into the story. They clearly don't have anything for her. We're 6 weeks out from Mania. Do Asuka versus Charlotte at Mania and let Asuka win. Let Asuka get something from this lackluster title reign and let her correct the wrong of Charlotte beating her undefeated streak of whenever that was. I'll take Asuka versus Charlotte right now. We'll know it's a good match anyway.
Flu?
I agree with Bex. I would say you can right both wrongs, can't you? You can have her put over Rhea Ripley, or you can have her put over Asuka. So yeah.
Ace.
I think if they're smart, they won't have Charlotte Flair in the title picture for Mania. Let's rest it, man. Let's just rest
what does
it.
Charlotte do then? Because
Something.
there's no way Charlotte's
Something else, mate. Something else. Let's have a Rhea Ripley match then, but it doesn't need to be for
without
this
the title.
Without the title. I think let's just rest it 1 year. I think they're in I don't know why I can't speak today, but they're very close to doing with her what they did to Roman. And
I agree.
There's no fans. Luckily,
they've done it
fans.
already.
I think they have done it already,
and they don't care.
I don't think the fans hate Charlotte yet.
I think Charlotte's very lucky there's no crowd in the audience right now.
You think so?
Didn't Charlotte go NXT and win the NXT title? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's taking the piss, isn't it? That's taking the piss. She didn't even need to do that. She did not even need to do that. She didn't even need to. That was no gain for her.
They put it on her at WrestleMania. Then she was obviously up against AEW, probably as a draw, and she wasn't a draw like that. It didn't change anything in terms of ratings. So then she dropped it to EO. So, yeah.
Question.
I want to say, can I just quickly say, I don't want to see Charlotte at Mania. I'd like to see Charlotte. I don't know how they're going to just fandangle this, but I would like to see Charlotte Bianca at SummerSlam.
There is no chance Charlotte Flair is missing WrestleMania.
She's not
Unless
missing.
she's injured. There is
She'll be on the card. I just don't want her to be in the main event.
Title match.
In the title match, no.
Tony Collins at, you know what? I'm sorry, Tony. I'm not going to read that handle. That's a mad handle. Tony Cole. No, it's too many numbers. Have you guys discussed the One Awards? You know, the Wrestling Observer Awards. It's interested to hear our take on Tony Khan winning the best booker. So I've got the list here. For the best top 10 wrestlers of the year, it was Jericho, Iowati, Roman Reigns, Shizuokai, Bailey, Drew McIntyre, Kota Ibushi, Naito, Kenny Omega, and John Moxley being the wrestler of the year. What do you guys think of that? I think Moxley deserves it, I guess.
Yeah,
He's had some outstanding matches.
You know what the thing is, when they do these awards, it depends where they start counting from and when they stop counting from. So it's not like the year he was the entire 12 months where he was champion. You see what I mean? It's like a funny cut-off period here and there. But you see these awards, I don't have much stock in them, especially they're usually put together by a bunch of people that don't respect WWE or don't like WWE. So it's always going to be skewed. Like I saw some of the results from the award, and I think in best wrestling promotion, Being the Elite, I think was second or third. Being the Elite is a YouTube show.
Yeah, that's a joke.
That kind of supports AEW storylines. So
that's
how
a
is
joke.
that, ranking in best promotion? Like it's
Tony Khan winning promoter of the year. I don't know about that one.
Did he win promoter or booker?
Booker. Yeah, it's Booker. You're right. Yeah, it's Booker.
Where's the difference there?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say he could have won best manager or best CEO, as in of the company. But is he the booker? Does he? I don't know enough about it to have an informed opinion, to be honest. But
I think at
the same time, though, at the same time, yes, they are sometimes a bit one-sided, but it's not as if WWE have done anything of any note this year, other than the award-winning and critically acclaimed Thunderdome. Have you heard they won awards? They went to another award ceremony and they won 3 new awards for best critically acclaimed big television thing behind people. So they've now got 7 big television awards. So good for them.
It's crazy. Bray Wyatt came from being one of the, I think on these awards, he got like one of the best gimmicks or whatever. Now he's number 1 and most overrated.
Oh shit!
Is that
Bray Wyatt's most overrated? Bray Wyatt's most overrated promotion of the year was only AEW. Don't know if I agree with that. Best weekly show, Dynamite. Most outstanding wrestler, Kenny Omega.
You can see how this is skewed, right? Or is it just
so the top 10 of the most outstanding wrestlers. Your boy Phoenix is number 10. Mex. Shizozaki is number 9. Takahashi is 8. Okada 7. Shizuki 6. Wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Ospreay 5. Ishii 4. Shingo 3.
This is what? Best wrestler?
Most outstanding wrestler. Not a WWE talent in the top 10. And Omega number 1. We need to see Ibushi Omega soon, though, and an AEW ring. Tag Team of the Year, the Young Bucks wins again. Any WWE talent in Tag Team of the Year? No.
But don't get me, again, though, I'm not necessarily a massive Young Bucks guy, but again, which tag team would they have put in?
No, Young Bucks definitely deserves number 1. Not disputing that. Not disputing that at all. They are the best tag team in the world right now. And probably have been for the past 5 years, to be honest. I think the Revival gave them a good run for their money at times, but now they're just injury prone. This is I do love Meltzer, but typical bias towards indie wrestling.
Indie stuff, yeah.
Not saying WWE, like Flu said, they haven't done much to kind of get themselves out of it, to be fair, but some of the choices are a bit like, okay. But yeah, all right. And that's some of the questions. That wraps up some of the questions. Oh no, actually, we got one more here. Yes, from Kinetic. He's been on the show before. My good friend. You guys stay on point. Big up to Bobby Lashley, but please can you give a shout out to Too Cold Scorpio for me? I see a lot about black wrestlers, but we can never forget a man like Too Cold. Never ever. Too Cold Scorpio. Should he have been a WWE champion?
I don't know. I never saw him in the WWE, so I can't even comment. But
Mex,
I see him on the indies still doing bits.
Mex, you don't want to see him in the WWE, trust me. I mean, like he did some good moves and stuff, but
Yeah.
they took the mick out of him, man. They made him like a Brodus Clay character in WWE, man. It was terrible.
Also, they made him come out in a jumpsuit, and he was a little bit overweight at that time, so he was wearing a big green jumpsuit. And his 50 splash, because he was a portly chap at the time, looked like it would effing kill.
I totally agree. Too Cold Scorpio, yes, absolutely. I always have nothing but good things to say about that man. So yes.
Amazing wrestler, amazing.
One of the best. What else are we going to talk about in this podcast? I feel like we're missing something.
Big Cass made a return.
Oh, Big oh yeah. Before we talk about Big Cass, that's the thing I was going to talk about. Randy Orton and Soulja Boy. Did you hear about this?
I did see this.
Yeah.
Randy Orton and Soulja Boy went through a little Twitter exchange last night. I think Soulja Boy tweeted that rap game is faker than the WWE. and first it drew the attention of T-Bar from Retribution first, who tweeted at Soulja Boy saying, "Does the rap game take years off your life and leave you with countless injuries?" And
yes, I can name one or two. Yes, I believe there's some documentaries about him on Netflix.
Right now.
Said, and then T-Bar starts saying, "Oh well, maybe you should stick to super soaking your holes or whatever it was you did 15 years ago." Then Randy Orton chimed in and said, "Fake? How dare this prick? I dare this prick to step up. He don't like movies. Consider us actors that do stunts without pads 200 days a year and don't bitch about it when we get surgically repaired and come back. Consider us 100 times tougher than anyone you've come across. Ain't nothing about a bitch ass." That's what Orton said about Soulja Boy. Then and then Orton said some more stuff. He said something about San Benito. Who's San Benito?
Bad Bunny. That's his at.
Oh, Bad Bunny would beat the fuck out of you. Oh, why? How? Because he's seen our world, respects it, and knows what it takes, and finds himself lucky to be part of it. You want to talk fake? Pull on that cheap ass chain and come work for it. You one hit wonder ass motherfucker.
And do you know what's brilliant with that? Soulja Boy and all the media would have gone, "Oh, let's have a look at Raw and see what's going on," because they're saying that this is real and legit. So what's going on? Click. Oh, he appears to be talking to a little girl who has turned into himself, then shouted at himself, and then vomited black blood. Yeah, and then they're going, "Oh, you're right. This is really legit." Do you know what I mean? Come on.
That's hilarious. The Soulja Boy replied with, "Do you know who the fuck I am? I'll bring the real to wrestling. Don't play with me, Randy Orton."
Why did he say that?
Yeah, he said, "Oh," like so many N's and question marks. Yeah. Oh no, it was like Orton. So I guess like Drake.
Oh,
Randy Orton. I think he's doing it like that. And then Orton says, "Crank That came out in 2007. You had one hell of a year then, dude. Serious money. Hats off to you, my dude. Here's the thing, though. I like rap. I bump that shit all day."
Is this Randy Orton saying this?
Yeah, whether it's Lil Wayne, Meek Mills, or Jay-Z. But you call what I do to survive fake? Fuck that. Come to my world and say that. I dare ya. And then
energy.
And then Soulja Boy says, if you mad because I spit real facts, just say that. What you do is fake, and I stand on that. What I do is real. Come to your world. Welcome to Soulja World. And then Orton says, "You spitting facts? Seems like all you're spitting in the same mess you rap about is not. Clear your throat, my dog, and be there. Enough talk. Back it up. And then Bow Wow tweeted at Soulja Boy saying stuff like, "Hey man, I tweeted at these wrestling motherfuckers, and they're all sensitive about me too. They're all sensitive little rattle bitches." And then Soulja Boy retweeted that and laughed. So could we see Randy Orton versus Soulja Boy at WrestleMania?
No thanks.
Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Beef has changed since my day. Did he really say hashtag welcome to Soulja World?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's a threat.
Yeah.
It's a threat.
I think
they
both come out of that looking a little
foolish.
Yeah.
You mean foolish?
Yeah.
Big Cass.
I don't know who Soulja Boy is though, and as long as Randy Orton didn't use the N-word, then I have no problems with any of those conversations.
You don't know who Soulja Boy is.
Soulja Boy.
Crack that song.
Could you name 2 more of his songs, please? Go ahead.
You.
No, just 2 more.
And
That's what I know.
Oh, okay.
We're getting
money.
I know that one. That one was featuring Lenny Kravitz and Bing Crosby. I remember that one. That was a good one.
Big Cass has returned with Enzo Amore to the wrestling scene. Big Cass looks in great shape, but Enzo still doesn't. I shouldn't say things like that, should I? It seems like there's a lot of talk, a lot of hype on Twitter. Is this could Big Cass be back in WWE eventually?
Nope.
I
don't think
the landscape has kind of changed, man. Like I don't know. I think him and Enzo caused too much of a rift when they're leaving, and especially Cass, because Enzo left first because of the charges and stuff against him, and then Cass, if I'm correct, left because he kept going at Carmella. So he had a backstage relationship with Carmella.
I just want to put out that Enzo was innocent of the charges.
Yeah. So then, he had a backstage relationship with Carmella, and then when they weren't in the relationship, allegedly it was
allegedly.
You
don't believe he was with her?
Yeah. No, I do believe that.
Also, Ace, I don't know if you've listened to any of our podcasts, but we need to do a lot of allegedlys. We should call ourselves allegedly the Kick Out Podcast.
Very true.
But allegedly there might have been some domestic stuff that was happening backstage at WWE, allegedly with him and Carmella. So that's why they kind of got rid of him. Allegedly.
I thought it was because he beat up the small person. That's nothing to do with it.
I think that was the icing on the cake. Then that was it. It was gone. But
that was such a you were meant to kick him once, but you kicked him twice. So very bizarre.
Yeah, very, very. I mean, do you want to see them back in WWE?
That's what I was going to say. I hate to say it, but I thought Enzo was good television. So I enjoy any promos that actually make me go, "Oh, that seemed off the cuff," or "That seemed realistic." Do you know what I mean? So whatever you think about him, and I do think things about him, it's just I thought he was a good promo. So it depends if he's cleaned up himself, and hopefully they have, because I heard there was mental health issues with Big Cass and stuff. But sometimes mental health issues are just people being assholes. So as long as they've come clean and they're good, then why not? I would certainly find it more interesting to watch him than to watch 90% of the current roster on the mic.
So you would want them both back, not just one, not just.
Well, Enzo on his own's a bit useless because he's just a big mouth. They only work. I think they're like Hawk and Animal. I think they only work together, but not to even put them in that stratosphere. But you know what I mean? There's certain guys that have to be together to work. Yeah.
I think they should just have a killer. They need a killer run somewhere like AEW or the Indies or somewhere like that to merit a big move now, because they're like right at the bottom of the totem pole with everybody.
So are we looking forward to this slow train that we're taking to WrestleMania? Is everybody looking forward to this, where everything's shaping up a bit, get a bit more? Oh, police. The boss man is here.
The police.
Why
do you say it's slow? That's the question I want to know. Why did you say it's slow?
I mean, no. Don't get me wrong. It's building up. It's building up quite nicely, but it's.
It doesn't feel slower than usual. I feel like there's been WrestleMania, even quite as recent up until recently, where maybe 2 weeks before we were like, fam, what is it? Who's on the cards? We don't know what's going on. I feel like not last year, maybe the year before. I feel like we were just like, we had an episode. Yeah, and maybe it was, and we just was like, who's on the card? Like, what is going on? There was
who stole it in the end? Charlotte Asuka, to show that, because I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm going to see AJ versus Nakamura live. And to be fair, it kind of disappointed, didn't it? And it's so, but the way I look at it is like every year, even when I was like, how are they going to do it this year? I remember when I first started on the podcast, on the Kickout, the build up wasn't happening for WrestleMania. And then suddenly Shane McMahon came back. And whether I liked it or didn't, and it was not perfect at all, of course it not, but there was something exciting about, Undertaker versus Shane, that's exciting. This year, I think they're going to do the kind of match for, us nerdy guys. Oh, if they do Cesaro, Seth Rollins, great, we've got our nerdy match, good for us. But where's that? That's why I think Lesnar versus Lashley is the only match that would make me go, oh, you know what? I'm actually very interested to see that. I love Edge. I'm interested by the Roman Reigns character, but is it going to rock our world?
They're relying on that, aren't they? They're relying on the Edge return for like the big.
But that won't main event. You know that. That's not going to main event.
I think it will. It has to. Roman Reigns not going to main event.
At the moment, it is. I think.
No, I think if it's Lashley Lesnar, that's going last.
No, I don't think so.
100%.
I think that opens. I think Roman Reigns and Edge is main event in the second night. I want Sasha and Bianca to main event the first night, but that's if they do Lesnar Lashley, that was maybe what will pip it. Like they might give them the main event of the first night, or maybe the opening match of either nights.
I'm actually so certain it is Lesnar Lashley. I actually could put money on it.
I don't think.
Let's do this.
I could feel it here. I'm telling you, like I'm so certain.
That's your leg, right?
I'm just. So that was my stomach, my guts, in my guts. All the interviews I've heard recently with Lashley, and we keep going back to this Lesnar. Like it's too perfect. Like it's too perfect.
What's your favorite promo Lashley's ever done when he's come back for like a WrestleMania match?
I don't remember.
Come on, Flu. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Come on, Flu.
I can't remember. You're going to have to help me, man.
What was that noise that he did again?
What? Oh, you're talking about Lesnar?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Wasn't apparently that the moment that he walked backstage, went up to Vince and just went, "Get me Paul Heyman now," because he was just like, "I'm not doing any more promos." In fact, that wasn't what he actually said. "Get me the Jew" is what he said. He went backstage, went to Vince McMahon, and said,
I'm uncomfortable when he keeps calling him that. I need to get me the Jew. I need to get me the Jew. He keeps making these jokes. I like
looking at Brock Lesnar and thinking about his past, I think that's quite mild compared to what Brock Lesnar could be saying. So
good point.
Let's see happy mercies. Good. Randy, Brock, just stay over there and be quiet and everything will be okay. Don't say anything weird. Thanks, guys.
Well, I guess that wraps up today's episode of the Kickout.
Oh, that was quick, isn't it?
I mean, there's not really much more to talk about.
Cool.
Am I wrong here, Max? Am I missing something?
Well, Bianca Belair, she's chosen Sasha. That happened on SmackDown.
Oh yeah, that was good. SmackDown was actually good. Actually, SmackDown was good. That was good. Let's talk about it. Thank you, Apollo Crews.
Hey,
he got the steal. Come on, Ace, talk to me about it. Nigerian Apollo Crews.
Yeah, I had so many different emotions while watching this. I liked it. Then I didn't like it, but then I loved it. But then I didn't. Then I loved it even. I don't know. Let's see what happens, innit? I think it's too early to say whether we like this or hate this. I like that Apollo Crews seems to be very confident on the mic. He seems very comfortable in this this new role. I like. Do you know what? I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm just interested to know where they're going. Like, is his whole thing like, I'm a real black man and you're not because you're not African. You're an African American.
They should call him Dr. Cruz.
No, don't do that. No,
right?
Don't relate him to that fool, Umar Johnson. Right? That's what you're doing here. Here we go.
And then, right, his promos should be him filming himself in his car or in his house with a mobile phone, and he talks about real Africans against American Africans. He talks about how he hates relationships, how he hates the white man. This is what they should do. Dr. Cruz, right? He should grab the mic. He should cut promos on English actors coming into the States and taking black American jobs. This is how I book it. Dr. Cruz. This is what he should be. A conspiracy theorist, but he'll be the best heel in the business. Best heel in the business. That's what I would do. What he should do as well is he should go to Omos, because he's also Nigerian, right? And say to Omos, what you doing with this white boy? And then you take Omos.
What should he say to him again? What
you doing with this white boy? You know what I mean? And take almost away from AJ Styles, recruiting his backup, Dr. Cruz. Hey, listen, they say I'm a genius. I'm not saying I am, but
that's what they say.
I've got a question. I'll say my little thing. This guy going. So with Apollo Crews, like I was worried when he said the real African American thing. I was worried he might get backlash, because I understand within the whole Nigerian thing that he's pushing that, but I thought that maybe other African Americans would take offense to that, which I've spoken to some since he said that on Saturday. They said it's fine because generally African Americans don't know their roots, so I guess he is the real African American, so cool. But my question was, why is the minute someone starts embracing their culture or their country, they become a heel?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? But
Very good point. Very good point.
It's terrible, but when you were saying
unless you're an American, unless you're a white American, Hacksaw Jim Duggan,
Bret
Jamaican.
Bret Hart embracing being Canadian, he was the heel for that. Like,
he was bad. Yeah, remember those other? They weren't Canadian, they're French. La Resistance.
La Resistance, French.
Obviously,
Rusev embracing Russia.
Rusev, Jinder, Cruz,
Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov,
Shinsuke at one point.
When you had the Japanese theme, when you had the Japanese rapper, heel. But you were making me laugh when you said about real African, because Alice saw Vince McMahon telling him, "You're the real African."
Literally, when he said that,
African American.
When he said that, my heart dropped. I thought maybe he's got too into this promo, and he said that. And I thought, like people are gonna get onto him in America. Other black people, they're gonna say like, you're devaluing us or whatever. Like it is a bit of a sensitive topic. It could be seen as one, but
right now as well, it's quite sensitive. But where do you go with this though? Like, what is the plan? Okay, so now Apollo's Nigerian. We didn't know that before. I didn't know that before. We know that now. So what does that mean? How does this lead you to the IC belt? Tell me, explain it to me. I don't.
He already attacked Big E. He hospitalized Big E.
Because you're Nigerian, that means you're gonna get the IC title now. That means what that means.
He hospitalized Big E last week before he cut that Nigerian.
I know, but so why does him becoming Nigerian mean that he is like? Why is that the thing that's gonna push him?
He's no longer being Mr. Smiley. Calm down. Oh, I remember when Kick Out used to take the piss out of me, smiling all the time. I'm no longer that guy. You know what I am now? I'm a real African, and I'm the Nigerian Apollo Crews. And when I see AJ Styles, I'm like, I say almost, what you doing with this guy?
So I think the whole thing was, obviously Big E told him to go back to catering, and he's saying, like, his whole argument is, do you know where I come from? Do you know my family ties? Like, I'm a descendant of this person that was a chief or king or whatever he said. So I think that's what it is. But I think really and truly, he has to eventually go on and beat Big E for this, because you can't be kind of building these characters and then they lose at the first opportunity, and then it's like, why do we try to reinvigorate them? Like they did this recently with Carmella. Sasha Banks has beaten her like twice or 3 times, and now like Reginald, the sommelier, gets more airtime than Carmella.
Yeah, they're doing Carmella dirty as well, because
so
she had the best match I've ever seen her have in years, and her reward for it is to sit this one out. But hold on, I bust my ass off. Yeah, I know, we saw that. But
they plucked Reginald, who should have been an extra in the story, and pushed him to prominence. So yeah, if they do the same, like if Big E comes back from his injury now, or kayfabe injury, whatever, and beats Apollo Crews, it's like, well, yeah, why did he have to? It's like he's almost hulked up to become a Nigerian. For what reason? Sort of thing, like, because he just went unlost. So where do we go from there? Like, now he's just going to be a Nigerian man in catering. Like,
where are you from, Mex?
Nigeria.
Okay, so you'll be aware of this, yeah? There's an ongoing beef between Nigerians and Ghanaians.
Yeah, of course.
They gotta take that. They gotta bring that to WWE. They have to.
What, so Apollo and Kofi.
Apollo and Kofi.
Apollo and Kofi.
It's a must. It's a must.
Yeah,
we need that. But
so
yeah, I like it.
The Jollof Rice Wars.
Yeah,
Jollof Rice on a pole match.
Can you imagine Vince inviting Apollo Crews into his room while he's eating jollof rice? I've never had this before. This is great. What's this? Tomato? Tomato. Rice. It works. Anyway, Flu.
Yeah, I ain't touching this one.
I know Flu kept quiet for the longest time.
Yeah.
I respect you, brother.
There's a time for Flu to talk, and there's a time for Flu not to talk.
Oh gosh.
Flu, whose jollof rice is better, Nigerians or Ghanaians? Go on, quick answer.
Oh,
quick.
You read my blog. I'm all about it. I have no idea. What?
But I do vividly remember Flu. I'll never forget this moment, right? So Flu hired me a few years back as to help out in stewarding and security in the O2 a couple years back. And I remember there was I think it was an Afrobeats, or no, a Nigerian comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the Wahala event.
A Wahala event.
Yeah.
That's it.
Jamaica versus Ghana, yeah.
And the people who do the catering at these events made loads of jollof rice. They made loads. There were so many containers left behind. And these people were sweet enough to share it with myself and Flu's staff. And Flu's like, yo, Ryan, make sure you take some food home. So he said, but take as much as you want, because there's so many. So I took like 3 containers. And Flu's like, yeah, I'll drop you to Leighton Station, because Flu would drop me to Leighton Station after work. I was like, okay, cool. And I see Flu come back, walk into the car with like 9 Tupperware. Flu was not messing around. It's like, yeah, this is great. Yeah. The car. I would enjoy it. Was so funny. It was so funny.
There you go, that's Flu, the real African.
That's Flu. What you doing with this Trini boy?
All right, I gotta roll. Thank you so much.
We gotta wrap up.
When are we back next week?
Well, I'm looking to do another episode with Justin Manning from Clubhouse, who's a wrestling announcer. So if you guys want to join me with that one on Thursday, we'll be doing another show on Thursday. Mex, I know you'll probably be with me. We'll probably run down some AEW stuff, some World of Wrestling stuff. We'll talk to Justin about his wrestling journey. And we're going to have more guests, plenty of more guests coming soon on the Kick Out podcast. More content. Stay tuned. We love you guys. Out.
Peace.